Hotep, I am the Amen Osiris, the one and only undisputed God of law. We are Deception Stoppers, America's only 4D education service. I'm not a lawyer. This is not a law firm. We don't advocate that you don't support your human offspring. We simply advocate you made them in private, you take care of them in private. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you that no child or its mother or its father, the legal words, of course, has a right to receive child support services. There's no entitlement to Title 4D services. And anybody who publicizes this is actually violating, they're making false claims, okay, false advertisement, dissemination of false advertisements. All right, so I have here New Jersey's child support website, and what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down, and I want you to notice something. Number one, right here in the right hand corner, it says customers need to update your address information. If you have an issue with Title 4D, that means that you are a customer. Okay. All right. So now what you have is a business for profit forcing you to coercing you to be its customer so it can profit from you. Not good. All right. But down here, we're going to go right here. Okay. Remember, your child has the right to support and you have the right to this help. Is a blatant, outright lie. Okay? No child has the right to receive child support. All right, so what they do, okay, is we're going to go to the book, the New Jersey Hearing Officer Programs Operations Manual. Now, what happens with this is what they do, and they label it so well that the average man doesn't see it. You just fall into it because you don't know what the words mean. Okay, and this is what 4D training is all about. 4D training is about, all right, this information, gentlemen, this is your counter technique. This is what they're doing. You flip it and then you use it against them. It is that simple. No more, no less. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay? There is no right to child support. So what they have is they have what's called enforcement of child support orders, use of warrants, and incidentally, this is Directive 1508. All right, again, I'm coming from New Jersey. This applies in every state, gentlemen. Okay, if you want to find out, then just do more research in your state. All right, it doesn't. We don't care. We know how 4D works across the board. It works only one way. They may word it differently, all right, which is to their detriment because anything you say can and will be used against you. That's all we're doing. That's all you need to do. Okay. This directive relates primarily to child support enforcement actions brought by the probation division. All right. So these actions aren't brought by custodial parents. It's brought by the probation division. Okay. Who are they? They're a bunch of people who are contracted. They're employed by a contractor. You can technically say that they're subcontractors. Remember, the family part chancery division in the Superior Court. All right, look up chancery. All right, but that's who they work for. They're merely judicial employees. They have no power. They're the ones who run and go and cry to the judge or to the contractor. Okay, so we're gonna jump into this. So there's two types of hearings: to coerce payment from an obligor who has become delinquent in the payment of court-ordered child support. The court may conduct a hearing to what? Enforce litigants' rights. Okay. Number one, who's the litigant? The litigant is the probation department. It has no rights. Okay. It can't be the customer because the customer has no right to Title 4D. So who is this litigant's rights that you're enforcing? And not to mention, there's nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, within the Constitution of the state of New Jersey, 1 through 28, I believe it's 1 through 23, that provides anywhere that someone is entitled to some support payments or medical insurance. Where does that exist? So if it doesn't exist in the Constitution, what rights are they enforcing? Again, probation department and the customer. The probation department is the ones who brings these actions, right? What they do is they track the payment, so you ain't paying. Trust me, gentlemen, they sit and look at who's paying all day. They have a list. Okay, and that list, it's a computer suite. They sit in front of this computer all day and see who they're going to oppress. Okay, but there's no rights to it. And they're telling you here blatantly, they're lying, right, and saying that your child has a right to this support. All right, so We're going to get into that. And it also says you have the right to this help. Oh, really? Okay. Where does that right exist within the Constitution? It does not. So let me show you how they have gotten around the Constitution and made it look legal. Okay. We're going to go to one of my favorite books. It's called Rights Without Remedies. Okay. And to give you a brief cap, this is, I believe this was published by the Chicago Law Institute. Very thorough book. Okay. Very thorough book. It deals more so with case law. All right. But what we're doing here today, it fits in perfectly. Now, check this out. Title 4D of the Social Security Act mandates that states provide specific child support enforcement services. Okay. Herein lies a problem. You go and sue the state. What do they say? Oh, we have sovereign immunity. A sovereign doesn't answer to anybody. Okay, a sovereign is separate. He doesn't have to answer to nobody. That's what a sovereign are. You are actually sovereign according to the Constitution. And I'm going to go here real quick. Look, all men are by nature equal, free, and independent. That makes you sovereign. That's all a sovereign is. Under that contract, the state is not by nature, is not free or it's independent because it answers to somebody. Sovereigns don't answer to anybody. All right, let's go back to rights without remedies. All right, so it mandates the states to provide 4D to receive federal funding. It's all about the money, gentlemen. All right, well, we're going to go down here, and we're going to come back to this in a second because we're dealing with rights. Now, it says here, the committee believes that all children have the right to receive support from their fathers. All right, again, where? What creates this right? Okay, we're getting to the real slick part. The committee bill, like the identical provision passed by the Senate last year, is designed to help children attain this right. Listen, your rights come from your creator. All right? Whatever God you believe in, that's where your rights come from. You were born with them. They are inherent. Inherent rights of mankind. Only men have rights. Obligors do not. Okay? And everybody else has rights. Even though, unfortunately, ladies, don't get me wrong, women didn't get rights in this country till like 1800s. Okay? But it doesn't separate because basically the Bible, the way it's construed, all right, this is dealing with all men. It does not say anything about all women, which is fine. You still have rights. Okay, but if you're equal, if you're free by nature, free and independent, how are you, why are you paying somebody else's bills? All right. But there's no right for a woman or a child to receive for a child to receive child support. All right, and there's no right to any woman to this services. All it is a service. All right. You have a right to use any service that you want, and any service has the right, for whatever reason, to deny you that services for whatever reason they deem fit. It doesn't matter. Okay. Title 4D is a service. It is sold. It is sold to customers. All right. You have the right to shop at Walmart. All right. You don't have the right to go in Walmart and steal. All right. But you see what I'm saying? And Walmart has the right to deny you service of any kind. Okay. It's a service. If you didn't apply for it, you shouldn't be bothering with it. All right. But there's no rights at all. None whatsoever. So where did this right come from? Where did it come from? So what they decided to do, all right, the court also I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Designated to help children attain this right, including to the right to have their fathers identified. All right, check this out. So support can be obtained. All right, what is that, gentlemen? You better be knowing this. I'm telling you. All right, this is paternity establishment. The immediate result will be a lower welfare cost to the taxpayer. Well, aren't you a taxpayer? Yes, if you pay taxes, that makes you a taxpayer. Taxpayers have no rights. Incidentally, gentlemen, there's 3 titles in the U.S. codes that are not enacted into positive law. Title 26 of the IRS code it was never enacted into positive law, and neither was Title 42 of the welfare code, whatever you want to call it. All right, neither one of those are law. All right, they're color of law, and you must volunteer what you're doing. All right, so, but more importantly, as an effective support collection system is established, here it is, fathers will be deterred from deserting their families to welfare. Children will be spared the effects of a breakup. Well, guess what? If you ain't getting along with baby mama or vice versa, then it's time to go. But you made them in private, take care of them in private. See, that's the problem with these vendetta people. They want everybody all up in your business. And number two, it says fathers will be deterred from deserting their families. See the wording? It doesn't say men. Okay. Now we know obviously a father is a male, but a male what? There's no definition of that. All right. Father is made by contract. So the court also pointed out to statutory provision requiring AFDC families to assign their child support rights to the state in return for AFDC aid. And here it is. This is the crux. What child support rights? We've already proved that there's no rights to it. Let's look at what the Supreme Court has said. I love this. I love this. Okay, let me check my board here. All right. All right, there we go. Let me make sure my board is straight where it's supposed to be. Now, Blessings versus Freestone, gentlemen. This case has not and cannot will never be overturned. The United States Supreme Court, they did their job and they made your job easier. All right. The United States Supreme Court found defendants' action did not assert a violation of a federal right. Number one, these women, if you don't know it, they were suing. They tried to sue the Arizona child support because they weren't getting child support. And this is what, and you know, well, you're suing them. You're violating our rights. No, we're not. And this is what the United States Supreme Court said. The requirement that a state operate its child support program in substantial compliance with Title 4D was not intended to benefit individual children and custodial parents. Therefore, it does not constitute a federal right. All right? So if it doesn't have a federal right, where does this right come from? That your children have the right to support? No, they do not. All right? Yet. Let's go back. Okay, my bad, I got lost. Far from creating an individual entitlement to services. All right, so the statement of New Jersey stating that you have a right to this help, this is all. So this right here, child support, the right to support for a child and right to these services, this is false advertisement. It is dead wrong, according to the Supreme Court. Okay? The standard is simply a yardstick for the secretary. The secretary of what? The Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. Javier Becerra. Okay? That's who's enslaving all of you. You need to write him a letter, let him know how you feel about him. All right? To measure the system-wide performance of a state's 4D program. Number one, gentlemen, the state does not have a 4D program. Okay? The 4D program operates in the state. It is outsourced by the United States Department of Health and Human Services. It is overseen by the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement. All right, and that's ran by Talking Monkey Tangular Gray. Okay, Tangular, don't worry, we're going to find you. All right, so it's outsourced. It's not a state agency. All right, if you 45 CFR 301.1, 4D agency means it's operating in the state. All right. Thus, the secretary must look to the aggregate services provided by the state, not to whether needs of any particular person have been satisfied. All right. So check this out. Substantial compliance of Title 4D means just providing services. That's it. There's no right to it. There's no entitlement to it. All right. So if there's none of that, all right, and there's no right to it, number one, how are you going to, if they have to turn over their rights to child support to welfare, where does right come from? All right, we're going to show you. We're going to go to the Bible, Federal Manual of Child Support Enforcement. All right, paternity establishment. Okay, that's why, worst case, if you have not established paternity voluntarily, all right, or by default by being married, then basically without it, they can't get a child support. All right. So paternity establishment is a prerequisite for obtaining a child support order. Without paternity established, children have no legal claim on their father's income. All right. So that is where, look, go back. Okay. It says, oops, my bad. Go back up. All right. The committee believes all children have a right to receive support from their father. Okay. So this committee bill is designed to help children attain this right. How is that? They attain the right through paternity established. All right, and this is why. Let's see, paternity establishment. Where do I want to go with that one? Let's see. All right, so Children have no legal claim on their father's income. What is a legal claim? All right, legal claim is a legal demand given by a person, which is going in Jersey, going to be the probation department, seeking some type of compensation for a loss that is under a contract or an injury due to negligence. Well, we know it ain't no injury, so it comes from a contract. That creates the legal claim. All right, the legal claim can only be stemmed from paternity establishment because without it, they can have no legal claim. Okay, this is what they meant by attaining the right. This is how they give children the right to obtain child support. It's not a right; it's a contract. That's all it is. All right, but there are no rights to receive child support, gentlemen. Now let's go back. All right, and We Hunt versus Ledbetter, same thing. Okay, and again, if you know this, fine. If you don't, it's very important information. All right, again, this was pertaining to the Georgia Department of Human Services, same thing. These broads got together and said, hey, we ain't getting our child support, we're suing you. Okay. The 11th Circuit held that Title 4D does not create enforceable rights on needy families with children because they are not the intended beneficiaries of the statute. So again, dissemination of false advertisements. All right. Not one count, but two counts. You got two separate. Look, number one, you're reaching out to kids and the applicant, the person who's reading this. That's two counts right there of dissemination of false advertisements. More importantly, okay? So what that means is when they try to coerce a payment at a enforcement of litigants' rights hearing, what rights? Who are you talking about? This is why you comprehend it or you stay out of it. Okay? They can't hold a man in contempt in an administrative hearing. This hearing is held for Title 4D purposes only. The court is aiding the 4D crime family. All right. This is way outside of the court's authority or jurisdiction, whatever you want to call it. There's no constitutional power vested in a 4D hearing. Okay. And the court shouldn't even be involved with it. But the billions of dollars that they're making, that's why they're doing it. So, gentlemen, all right, you have your assignment. There is no right to receive child support services. There's no right to receive child support. There's no right to any particular service. Okay? No rights at all. So, how was New Jersey holding enforcement of litigants' rights hearings? Whose rights are you enforcing? All right? And look, check this out. Let's go back up. Let's go. All right. This is what I want to do. We're going to go to case processing. We're going to go to customer service right here. Again, New Jersey's Child Support Hearing Officer Manual. The goal of New Jersey's court system is to serve our what? Our customers. Effective and efficiently. The Child Support Hearing Officer should strive to treat what? Customers with respect, dignity, and courtesy. Our diverse customers include, but are not limited to, self-represented litigants. That's what you would be if you went in there. Attorneys and employees from different divisions and different agencies that are part of or interface with the hearing officer program. At every phase child support process, good customer service should be employed. We're committed to delivering quality service which the court users expect. Okay? You want to be their customer, then you continue doing what you're doing. There is no right to receive child support. There's no law that says you have to be a customer of child support. All right, because there is no right to receive child support. Let's see if I can find it. No, that's not it. All right. Now, because they've advertised this is a public advertisement. All right, pursuant to 15 USC, all right, subsection 52. Damn it, sorry about that. Unlawfulness. It shall be unlawful for any person, partnership. Okay. All right, so here's where you confirm that. Let's go to the federal manual. We'll go to page 65. All right, the program is a partnership between the federal government and the states, which means that they are subject to this law. All right, or corporation to disseminate or cause to be disseminated any false advertisement by United States mail or in having an effect upon commerce by any means, okay, website, for the purpose of inducing or which is likely to induce directly or indirectly the purchase of what? Services. Or by any means for the purpose of including or which is likely to induce directly or indirectly the purchase in or having an effect upon commerce of food, drugs, and what? Services. Title 4D is a service. It is a partnership, and they are subject to this code. Okay? Remember, the mention of one thing is the exclusion of another. It clearly states partnership. All right. Unfair or deceptive act or practice. This dissemination or the causing to be dissemination of any false advertisements within the provision of subsection A of this section shall be unfair or deceptive act or practice in affecting commerce with the meaning of section 45. Now, false advertisement. The term false advertisement means the advertisement other than labeling which is misleading in a material respect. All right. I'll leave it there. This is misleading with material respect to two different types of people. All right, a child and its mother. All right, so these are two right here. Misleading. Oh, well, I have the right. No, you don't. Okay. I'm the Amin Osiris. If you need help, bang my email, Hathorsehk@gmail.com, and we will show you a process and show you a counter technique that you can use, all right, to get rid of these people. And trust me, again, they can't get out of it. All right, this is their information. If you use their information against them, you cannot go wrong, gentlemen. That's all we're doing. Anything you say can and will be used against you. All right, so because this is what they said, all right, your customers and all this other stuff, enforcement of litigants' rights, I don't think so. All right, bang the email if you need help. All right, start getting your nose in these books, gentlemen. And more importantly, start speaking their language. Hotep.